Well, hello everyone, it's Patrick. Well, I'm in the car. I'm sitting here waiting for Sonda and them so we can get going. I haven't started the Jeep. Well, I'm in the Jeep, technically. Well, I haven't started it because I went to start it and I thought, you know what, if I do that, you guys will not be able to hear me. So I decided not to do that. So I figured I'd just sit here and talk to you a few minutes while I'm waiting. Well, I'm trying to find a good spot to put this phone so I don't shake it everywhere. Okay, we'll try that. All right, so anyhow, we have finally got victory. Victory! Woo! It's been kind of crazy around here. All of you know that's been watching how it's just been an absolute mess when it comes to the mail around here. So what happened is this thing's driving me crazy. There we go. As you know, things have been crazy around here. We weren't getting mail, all that kind of stuff. Well, like I said, I went to the post office the next day after my last video, and there was a mail lady outside. Wasn't sure who she was, but I asked her about our mail and our mail person, and she said, oh yeah, she hasn't been able to get into there, but if you go inside, they should be able to help you. I'm like, okay, thank you. And I'm like, yeah, right, they're gonna help me. So I went in, because you know the story from the last couple times. So I waited in line and I was desperate. I went up to the guy. I said, I need help. He's probably thinking, yeah, you need a lot of help. And I told him my address and everything, that we were not getting mail. Well, he said, well, let me check on it. I'm like, okay. And he came back and he said to me, your mail lady, Angie, has your mail. I'm like, but we are not getting our mail. And he said, no, let me finish. He said, but I called your mail person. I called Angie. She has it, and she was able to get up your steps. So you'll be getting your mail today. I'm like, yes. So I came home. My wife and me did some chores and some things we needed to get done. And guess what? We did get mail. And guess what was in the mail? My W-2 and a form we needed for my wife Sonda's health insurance, because she is on Obamacare, it used to be called, but Marketplace is what it's called now. Well, we needed that form to show proof that she has been on insurance all year long. Now, mind you, listen to this. Well, I'll tell you that here in a minute. Well, we've been waiting on a 1095A for my daughter because she is on CHIP sub 1, which means we make too much money to get CHIP from the state, but we had to pay a premium every month. So we're like, fine, that's great, we'll pay a premium. So we figured it would be the same. Well, 2 hours later and 6 phone calls, I finally got it. They took me around from United Healthcare Community Plan, went to CHIP, went from CHIP to Pennies, which is an umbrella around here. And then they took me to a caseworker that I thought we used to have. But then they took me back to my Compass app, or whatever it's called, and I found out she doesn't need that. She needs a 1095B, because her insurance, even though we pay a premium on it, it's called CHIP sub 1, not just CHIP. There's a difference, anyhow. Well, anyhow, So she needed 1095B. And I'm like, well, how do I get that? And he said, you just go on the website and you hit it and it'll print it out for you. And I thought, well, listen here, Mr. Fancy Pants. I have done that. And it doesn't give it to me. He said, are you on the website now? I said, yes. And we went through and we talked it through. And I thought I had it. I'm like, yes, thank you. And I printed it off. And it wasn't that. I was like, you know what? So I called that same number again. And I got a different person. And this person said, oh, no, there's a way for you to get it off. I'm like, well, I've tried it. It doesn't work. He said, here, let me talk you through it. I'm like, okay. He talked me through it. And then he said, did it download it for you? I'm like, wait, download? He said, yeah, it should have downloaded it into a PDF file. So you can open up that file and print it off. I'm like, let me check. And sure enough, it had all 5 of the 1095Bs that I have tried to print off. One word threw it all off. So, main word to remember, moral of the story is make sure you know the right person to talk to and the right word in, because just one word made the difference. Now, back to the caseworker. So, I assumed we were done with the whole system. We didn't do any of that anymore because we make too much money and we do a premium a month. Well, it turns out because it's still through the state and we just pay a premium, we still have to go through paperwork once a year for our daughter Winona to make sure we don't make too much money that we get canceled out altogether. So apparently once a year I will have to do that paperwork. But that's okay, because now I know how to do it. So I finally, because I was even talking to the gentleman at H&R Block that does our taxes every year. And he's like, well, if it's through Marketplace, it has to be a 1095A. And I'll need that for your taxes. I'm like, oh, this is like the 10th year this guy has done our taxes. And I'm like, okay. So, but it turns out it was still state insurance. So it's a long story, confusing story. But we ended up getting our taxes done. Everything, praise the Lord, was good. We always pray before we go in, Lord, just break even is all we want. We don't want to owe them money, nothing. So, once again, we got a little extra and we were able to pay our tax man right away. So, we always use this card to have the money put on, right? Well, we were going to go get some breakfast. So I figured, you know what? I'll use the card. But let me take the money out of the ATM machine, because I didn't want to get there and eat and realize I had to go home to get another card. So it wouldn't work. It said restricted. I'm like, okay. Tried it again, restricted. I'm like, well, sometimes this ATM doesn't work right. So we'll go to the one right there by the restaurant. Still restricted. So Sonda said at the very beginning when we got this card that we needed to activate it. But our tax man said, no, you don't need to, because I'm doing it here at the office, which usually that's the way it should work. But I found out, here's another confusing thing. My son and I have the same name, except we have different middle names. So for the longest time, we were still getting his mail, or he'd be getting our mail. Well, he uses H&R Block also. We got some lady on the phone that we just couldn't understand a word she was saying. And there was so much background noise. You just couldn't understand what she was saying. And I kept hearing North Farm Road, and I'm thinking, that's the road Patrick lives on, not me. Well, 30 minutes, and this lady was asking all kinds of questions. And finally, I'm like, you know what? We need to talk to someone else, because she told me, she's like, well, we can't authorize it over the phone because you didn't answer all the questions correctly. I'm like, no, you know what? You need to put me through to another person. Usually I don't get, but it was getting to that point. And this other lady came on and she was going through things. I could hear her clearer. I don't know if she was in a different office or what, but we were able to hear her. And it was just a question, a security question. So we were able to answer the questions. And the lady said, do you mind if I put you on hold about 3 to 5 minutes? While I'm like, I've been on the phone for 30 minutes. Yes, I do mind. She was, okay, it'll be real quick. I'll get it taken care of. I'm like, thank you. And she did. And that's all it was to it. So it is victory. It's my wife's birthday. Tomorrow's Valentine's Day. And on the 19th of this month is my daughter's birthday. So right now we're going out to celebrate my wife's birthday and celebrate the victory. Can't believe I have worked so hard to do taxes. What is wrong with that picture? Oh well, anyhow, it all worked out. Talk to you all later. Bye. Oh, hey, by the way, if you like these videos, hit like and subscribe and share. All right.